Hello and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. I just did the start wrong then, going absolutely nuts here. Sorry I'm late. I have got my eye on this game. I have got my eye on it, and I was a couple more minutes on that game. I've got Paul here with me. We're going to be talking about the last game. Wolves won, Everton won. We'll go through that quickly, me and Paul. But we also will be keeping an eye on this game whilst we're talking about it, and we've got loads to talk about. So I'll get Paul on straight away. Feels like we're doing a live game on this game now, doesn't it, Paul?
It does a bit, doesn't it? I'll be like this all the time, I'm afraid.
I'm scared. I just said to you, once I come on this stream, I can't watch it on my laptop because I'm going live on my laptop. So now I'm just relying on you to tell me what's happening, which makes me even more scared because I'd rather see it. But yeah, I suppose.
Well, we're on 83 minutes there, so they've probably got another 12 minutes left, something like that.
12 minutes. That is a long time. That is. How are we feeling? Right. Just going to get on your comments now. Everybody get on it. It's going to be a late one, but we need a late one tonight, don't we? I'll get the banner on.
Might be late.
I've got the banner. That's about all I have got. There we go. Yeah. Wolves won, Everton won. This seems like it was last year, doesn't it? This does. After what's going on now.
Yesterday was a long day, wasn't it?
It's been stressful. It's been an absolute roller coaster, especially watching the other games as well with Forest, like doing the job to stay up already against Arsenal, which you wouldn't have expected it. And then luckily West Ham 1-0 and then all of a sudden bring it back against Leeds. Luckily, that was a game that was scary. So we're going grey, mate. We are going grey. This is crazy. It isn't fun.
It's not fun when it's like this. But all you can do is just go with it. Is just
have a heart attack
and see what happens. Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't mind it, but it's the end now. This is the end. This is it. Like
this is the end.
if Leicester win, we might not have the chance to stay up. That's how scary that game is. That's why I'm so worried. If Leicester win, a draw, all we need to do is win to stay up. But if Leicester win that, I feel they'll beat West Ham, and we're buggered. So, yeah, that game needs to end on a draw for me now. I wanted Newcastle to win, but now it's...
well, yeah. I mean, if Newcastle...
I'll take a draw.
If Newcastle do win, and that's what we obviously want, we can draw and stay up. However, it's... don't know. We'll see how it goes. But... Bournemouth isn't a walk in the park anyway, to be honest. I think Blues mentions it here.
I fancy it, I do. I really, really do fancy it. I don't think it's a walk in the park, but I believe that we've done what it takes to build ourselves to get ready for this Bournemouth game. We're a lot more prepared for it than what we was under Lampard. I feel everything that Dyche has added to us is needed for that Bournemouth game. Because when we got battered by Bournemouth twice under Lampard, I felt like there was a lot more physical, they were stronger and they worked harder. And I feel like we never had any of that under Lampard. We didn't give a crap. We didn't chase things down and we didn't go for second balls or even first balls. And I feel like Dyche has come in and he's added that to our game so we can actually give Bournemouth a game now. That's what I feel like. I'm not as worried as I was under Lampard on that game because they've got a lot of big lads. It's a very physical game. But I do feel like Dyche can handle a physical game. It's his main strength into it, and he's got that into us now. So I'm not that worried about that game, but we've just got to get where we win that game to stay up, I believe, now. That's a cracking situation. I heard Toffee TV go on Sky News earlier on, and they said, like, we couldn't ask for no more to have a home game against Bournemouth to win, to stay up. That's not a bad situation for the way the season's gone. Do you agree?
Yeah, you can sort of look at two separate parts of it, can't you? When you look at when we were second from bottom or even bottom, and we were 2 points adrift of getting out of relegation, but other teams had games in hand, and the teams that were around us as well at the time are now all 4-5 places above us as well. So, in some ways, we've done well to get in this position. However, there's also one or two. You just sort of look back at missed opportunities. You can look at it both ways. I mean, the draws that we've got away from home actually have got us in disposition and giving
Gordon, just do the job. Gordon, just score. Just score. Gordon, mate, just do the job. I know you've had crap from us, and just get the job done, mate. I like it if you score. We just want to stay up. We really do.
They've just taken Almira.
I don't even know what you're going to say.
Gordon's come on for Almiron.
He best not give a frigging penalty away or something like that. Oh my days! It's worse not watching it because my head's going doodah now. I don't even know what Gordon's doing. I don't know what frigging Vardy's doing. Has Vardy come off? Has he stayed on? Has Barnes come on?
Vardy went off. Vardy and someone else.
What's the first off?
Madison came on at half time. They've got Barnes on and they've got Daka now up front.
It's just Everton, though, isn't it? Because Newcastle could have scored 100 goals, but haven't. It's just typical. Stress us out.
Leicester look as though they're going for it. They're bringing a few.
Told me that because when I was watching, Newcastle was just on the halfway line, attack.
Well, that might actually give Newcastle a bit of opportunity to get a clear chance. So anyway, us.
Right. Well, I've just seen your comment saying Everton. You've just said you're not happy with Dyche's substitutions, and the Blues have just said we haven't got such and such players. So let's just talk about the games to take our mind off this for a couple of minutes, if that is possible. Right. So we started this game. We didn't know who was going to play left back. McNeil, we talked about. McNeil did play left back, which I was happy with. Was you happy with the lineup that started this game?
Well, we spoke about the formation, didn't we? We said a 3-5-2 wouldn't be a bad idea. It's what it turned out to be, and would have carried on being the case if players stayed fit. You know, I mean, it didn't change an awful lot. I thought McNeil did well on the left against Traore, and that was the thing. It was the Wolves team that was more unexpected. Lots of changes and fast lads on either wing. So it was a little bit worrying that was the case, but most of the time we handled the balls that came in the area pretty well.
Wolves tried to catch us out because on the all of you in the comments now, we've got loads of frigging regulars on this, and I love it. We all talked about Costa, and we all talked about the Brazilian lad up front. They completely caught us off. Yeah, they completely caught us off guard with this team. We didn't expect it, but I think they deliberately put fast players on. Suits our centre backs, but I think they went to put fast players on because they seen that we struggled with, say, Vardy on the counter attack, and they thought Traore would be effective on the counter attack. So I was more worried with that team that Wolves put out than the stronger team they've been putting out against other teams.
Yeah, I was as well. I mean, as I say, we dealt with all the crosses that came in. It was more. It was when we had the ball in their half, and then we got caught on the break a few times, and that was our own. That was our own fault as well. What really disappointed me was what we were like with the ball in possession, particularly the middle three. I just thought those lads couldn't string a 5-yard pass together, and that's actually what was our undoing. Because when we had the ball in possession, creating chances on the edge of their box or trying to create
every time you look, you scare me.
Box, I won't look.
No, look, tell me.
Garnagay and Decore tried to do a 1-2 on the edge of the box, and both of them were crap passes, and that's when they've then broken away, and it's led to their goal. So
you know what, though?
That was the most disappointing thing for me.
Although that first half, I thought we was a lot better than them. I thought until they scored the goal, we was all over them. Typical Everton. I think we put a couple of balls into Calvert-Lewin. I think the formation at the start, it needed shouting. Dyche was shouting to get them to understand it. And I think we grew into it, and we were swinging balls in the box, and we was better than Wolves. I wasn't that scared other than the counter attack, but you knew, like I said, when we're on top those first 30 minutes, you've got to get something for it. You can't come out 0-0 and be on top the first 30 minutes. Calvert-Lewin's got to score one of those headers crossed in. So you've got to get something to show for it. Oh, James just said, oh my God, what's happened?
I think Leicester just...
Oh, don't do that! Don't do that!
Bloody Madison crossed it in.
Oh, would not be good on a reaction. He's just shit. Is it a goal?
No.
Stop it!
Keeper
Stop
saved it. Keeper
just
saved
in
it.
the face.
Keeper saved it, and then Newcastle have cleared it. Anyway,
calm your heart down, Daniel. Absolute poo pants. You've got Jamie, oh my God, in the frigging comments. You've got you gritting your teeth like a goal's just gone in.
Yeah, sorry.
This is why I wouldn't be good at these reactions. Oh my days! If Leicester win this, we're buggered. I've gone to Leicester at Leicester's ground, and we was winning 1-0, and they come back and beat us 2-1 in extra time, and all jumped. Yeah, I went to that game where Vardy scored at the end, and I had £1,000 if Everton won that game.
No.
Because I just signed up a betting account where they give you a £50 free bet, and we weren't that good at the time. Sidibe played back then, and they come and Sidibe. It's probably. I would take him now. To be fair, Sidibe can't put his shin pads on, but he wasn't that bad.
Play him up front.
Yeah, this is scary. I feel like it's completely affected our talk. Then,
I think it has.
Tell me what happens. We're on the first half.
If anything happens, I'll tell you. If anything happens, I'll tell you. And don't listen to everything, Everton.
Probably won't want to tell me. Right, Leicester just scored. Is he full of rubbish?
Yeah, full of rubbish.
This is why I didn't want to come on. This is why I'm late, because I knew you'd all get me.
Don't be doing that. Exactly. There you go.
You're going to curse yourself, Everton. You're going to curse yourself. You don't say that, because I know Everton. He's been pooing himself all day anyway about this game. So he's scared himself doing that. So don't do that. Don't do that. We need a draw this game, and I believe we can win still. I do. We'll talk about that later on. We've got loads to talk about. I know it's late, but we need a late night because we can't sleep anyway. We're Everton fans. But that first half, we're smashing it. We look good. By the way, I knew the moment Calvert-Lewin got... No, we'll go to Patterson first. Patterson got injured before Calvert-Lewin, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. And I think I was surprised, actually, with Patterson being the right-hand side of those three. I thought actually he would be the right wing back, but obviously they felt as though Iwobi would be a better choice there. So
Patterson looked good though, didn't he? He did one way there was on the counter and he covered it. Do you remember he sweeped it on the counter attack? And I thought, yes, Patterson, you look good here. I was happy with him.
I don't think the Patterson one changed things too much because you could have had Keane in there from the start anyway, alongside Mina. And,
it's just the attacking that Patterson was doing.
We lost.
He was whipping him and Garner down that right hand side.
Yeah,
was a really good combination. There was passing it, linking up, and very calm for young players. And I thought it's nice to see two young players linked together here for Everton.
Well, I mean, also what I said on the preview was I felt as though I remember saying it was that I'd love to see Keane, Tarks, and Mina all going up for set pieces. I mean, in the end, that's actually it's what paid off.
And we had them all as strikers in the end.
Exactly. We did create some challenge. I mean, DCL had his header that went over the bar. Mina had another header that went over the bar, but we only made the keeper make one save. Do you know what I mean? In that second half, and like you said, we didn't create enough. We didn't create enough.
Like you said, the middle. I do think I don't like to make excuses, but I spoke to. It's finished.
0-0.
Are you sure?
0-0. Yeah.
You're not adding me on, are you? Adding me on. Having me on.
No, Newcastle are happy because they've qualified for top 4 now.
So are we. I'm buzzing with that. Yeah. No, I'm happy with that. I'm telling you, I'm happy with that because that could have gone. That red card at the start, if they ended up with 10 men, it'd be out of our hands. We wouldn't have a chance to stay up.
Yeah.
We can't be greedy, you know. We've got a chance to beat Bournemouth to stay up. That's fantastic. It's in our hands now. Like, if we win, they can't do nothing. They would dream to be in our position. And I said at the start I'd take a draw. And I tell you something, by the way, people. Those people that moaned about a draw that game, those people that I spoke to on the spaces that was saying, we're crap. If we get a draw, it won't be good enough. Excuse me, that draw is very, very good now because it kind of means that we can just get the business done now, don't it?
Well, we've got to do as well as the other two sides. You know, if Leicester get a draw, we've got to get a draw. Actually, if Leicester get a draw, we're fine. Leicester don't bother us. If Leeds only draw, then we're fine.
I think they've done good there. Stupid Boccos, I think they've done us a good job there, mate. I really do, because it is a good result.
I just wish we would have been able to get a draw. That's all. Just, but it is what it is, and we'll do what we've got to do.
I believe in that. By the way, I am absolutely really happy with that result. I really am. I wanted a draw. That's all I wanted.
Did you?
Yeah, because a lot of people are talking like Leicester are playing for the lives, and a team fighting to stay up can get something out of that game. And if they did, they would have beat. Where I really do believe Maddison and Barnes would have played against frigging West Ham, and they would have stayed up, and we couldn't do nothing about it. We've got a chance to stay up now. Yeah. Because that's what I was thinking to myself that game.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Definitely at the end, yeah.
Well, I didn't watch the end, but by the sounds of what you lot were saying, it freaking scary that was. Richarlison will sort Leeds out. And I honestly do believe that Leicester will beat West Ham unless. So we need to win. For me, we do need to win. But we'll talk about that at the end. We're at half time. Well, they've just scored, like you say. What do you think of the goal? Let's just talk about the goal because Garner Gay could have pulled him down. Onana could have pulled him down.
Yeah,
it's something we've seen so many times. You've got to have a bit more brain than that, and you. Dice a professional foul.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it happened in the second half as well. James Garner, I think, did it to one of their lads, and they were breaking away in exactly the same kind of way. And James Garner took him out, middle of the pitch, got a yellow card for it.
Yeah.
It's all ifs and buts, but the thing was that we were the makers of our own downfall there because we weren't covering ourselves, if you like. We didn't have enough people back in possession. Onana was forward along with Garnegate and Decore literally on the edge of their box. And then we left ourselves in a one-on-one situation, really. Tarkowski and Traore. Tarks kept up with him best he could, along with one or two people who didn't put in strong enough tackles. Pickford, decent save, and there's Hwang just there to put it in. But I felt as though, like you said, up to that point, I thought we had control of the game. We just weren't creating anything decent. After they scored, I thought really we fell apart a bit. And although they didn't have many shots on goal after that, they took control of the game a bit more after the goal.
Well, I said I did a halftime space, and I said we needed halftime to come. We needed to reset because once they'd scored, we cracked. Nothing was going right, and I do feel that King coming on right back wasn't working. I think Patterson was having a cracking game. I think King coming on right back wasn't working. And I felt like, obviously, DCL pulled up and we had Mope. We just needed to reset and Dyche needed to get them in, calm them down and talk to them because the game plan of going 1-0 down completely got lost our players' heads. And it was if that first half would have gone on, they would have scored another. That's the difference between a half time. They would have scored another. And I said to loads of people, stay in it. Don't give up. Don't get scared. Stay in it because in my head, me and you said a draw this game wouldn't be a bad result. We're sensible. Some people just wanted to win because they're shitting themselves and they want to stay up as soon as possible. But you've got to be realistic. And I thought a draw, this game, I looked at the other teams and I thought they won't do more than draw one, win one. I was right, by the way. They won't do more than draw one, win one. So if we do that, we stay up. And I've got those maths in my head. So I wanted to come back and draw, but I knew it wouldn't be easy the way that game went because Wolves was a lot better than us, weren't they, going into the end of that first half, 1-0 up?
They were, absolutely they were. And the problem was, the problem was that we just kind of lost our shape because of the injury, to Patterson, and it just went to bits, really. We were just all over the show. And then with their goal, then Traore just sort of had his beating of McNeil. McNeil couldn't sort of handle him, really. And I don't think people were getting around McNeil to help him too much either.
No, there wasn't. Traore is just... It's one of those players that everyone says is crap. Yeah. But I actually think he's a nuisance. I don't like him. I'm scared of him, I am. A lot of people say, he's useless because he's got no delivery like in the final third. But he does get you in the final third. And you just know that the one time that he might have a good delivery is against us. You do worry, don't you, that he's going to be
what's happened here? Give me a second.
I've just seen.
Have a look at some of the comments.
What's happened? I was just going to say, like, us Everton fans are falling to pieces here. I was saying, right, poor transfer policy, no cover. Yeah, I completely agree. Vinagre obviously injured, but we haven't got a left back, have we now, with the way it is? Going to be interesting to see. Well, we are going to get to that in a minute. We're trying to whiz through this game now. Over the Blues there. We're trying to whiz through the game to give our match reaction on it, and then we'll talk about transfers, owners, the next game a little bit as well. We'll talk about all that in a second. So we're trying to just whiz through it for you. I mean, Paul's knocked his headphones off. This is Everton. This is Everton, aren't we? Everton, aren't we? Oh, my days. Me and Paul are looking to try and go to this next game. We're going to be a frigging wreck. We are. Like Bill and Ben in that frigging stand. Right. So we're at this game. What score? 1-0. Come out second half. At what time did he put Keane up front? Because I said this is a lot of people's problem. He brought your player on, Mopé, who everything Everton's fuming about here. Look in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I said I remember saying to my dad, because he came around and watched the game, and I said just Onan has got to go. Or
agree with that.
One of them have just got to go off. You're right, the Blues. He did well for what support he had, really. But I just felt Onana just needed to go off because he wasn't providing anything, and the passing was poor and everything else. And then he went off for Mopé, and I thought, oh Jesus.
The heat. I was just going to say to you, the heat. They couldn't handle it, could they?
It seemed like it, didn't it? I never realised Wolverhampton could be such a tropical place, to be honest.
No, it's obviously hot there. The Wolves could handle the heat a lot better than us. Must be used to it. But no,
Keane went up in sort of the last 10 minutes, didn't he? It was that kind. I mean, say the last 10 minutes, bloody hell, that was all of injury time, pretty much.
I think he even went up earlier than that. Anyone in the comments? What time do you think Keane went up top? Because I thought, bloody hell, Keane's going to get a good 15, 20 minutes up front here. And I joked about it with Yobo on Twitter. Yeah. You know Yobo, everyone knows Yobo. The bit of a joke is more of a joker than me. I joked with him, and that was on about Keane up front, and he was fuming. But I knew that he could probably beat the centre backs on the header, and he can smash it in on a knockdown. But that's what Dyche went for. Crazy tactic by Dyche towards the end, but it paid off, didn't it? You could say that Keane was a big part of the goal, and that was more effective than probably Sims coming on. Was it all?
Well, Sims would probably be more effective earlier on in the game. Really, as soon as you thought
83rd minute, I knew the Blues would know.
ACL goes off, then maybe Sims is a like for like. You know, like Keane was for Patterson in terms of on the right hand side of the back three. But the thing about, sort of Mopé and everything else is that he was just getting lost in it, because our tactics were basically, let's get the ball in the box and get our heads around it. And we survived a real scare with, when was it? It was 93rd minute that their guy, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Podence or Mateus Nunes, went forward and one-on-one with Pickford. And Pickford sticks a foot out and saves it. And then we go up the other end and eventually get the equaliser.
Would you know? I was just going to say, I just read the comment now. Sorry, I got distracted because I try and I can't multitask. You know what I'm like. Paul's a multitasker. He's a clever one. Your Newcastle fan just come on now. Thank you so much. I'll take the draw. I'm buzzing with that. I mean, you should have battered them. I watched it. You should have battered them. But I'll take the draw. And you've got Champions League now. So there you go. Happy for you. But we've just got to stay up. We've got the big job. You've done yours. We've got our job now. But the goal was, it was Tarkowski heading it back across, wasn't it? I mean, people in the comments get involved because I normally do loads of research, put it on the screen, but I've been that everywhere with Everton at the minute. I'll let you lot in the comments do the research for me now. And Paul, the goal was Tarkowski back across. Keane, a good little flick. He did it against Crystal Palace in that stay-up game. Cracking flick under pressure, Michael Keane. Dyche having him up there did work. It clearly did. And then Mina, the composure. I mean, we all know Mina can come up with something like that. Yerry the King. But it's just fun. It's Everton, isn't it? You can't predict it. It's like a frigging Hollywood film, isn't it? It's just crazy.
Yeah. Wolves were shrewd in their defending of our set pieces. I mean, the only time that Tarks didn't have at least two people just literally grabbing him, or three people at some point, just grabbing him on set pieces. The actual goal was the only time that Tarks was behind those players and the ball travelled further back, and he actually had to leap back to get it forward again for Keane. So
I've seen one of them in Newcastle today. Did you see the one in Newcastle where the keeper palmed it back into his own goal and Wilson hit the post?
No,
that was a long one. Similar, yeah, it was a long ball and the keeper palmed it. I think it was Burns or someone headed it back across goal, and there was a similar one there. Just that back post ball where the keeper's overstretching. The keeper made a fondle of it, didn't he? Really, it was kind of a mistake from the goalkeeper.
He did. I didn't think he was amazing during the game. The saves that he made were either straight at him or just above him, and thankfully balls it up.
We'll talk about contract extensions as well in a minute. There's loads to be on this channel. It's going to be a late one, but you've got nothing else to do. Stay on the channel. We'll talk about it all. Paul, if I do ever talk you and get excited, feel free to do a Philip Neville on me and say, hey, excuse me, mate, don't talk while I'm talking.
Have some respect, will you?
Have some respect, will you? If you want to do a Phil Neville on me, but that's class by Phil Neville. I just see that.
What was the question?
What was the question? I knew. Do you know when your head's gone and you're that angry?
Oh,
you can't get back to what was the question, can you? So we'll do with Philip Neville. Right, excuse me, mate, talking. Quiet a minute. I've seen them on Spaces many a times.
Oh God!
I haven't finished talking yet. Let me get my point across. Classic. Right. Oh my days. Right, back to focus. See, that's what he did. I can't think what I was saying now. Yes, it was a good flick, cracking goal. Dyche gets. I know what you're saying, Everton. I know about. It's just the Sims thing, but we don't know what Sims is like in training. I mean, we're all thinking Sims come on for a couple of seconds on that magical moment where he scored against Chelsea, and we all think he's going to do it again. But he did play the whole Liverpool game and wasn't that good.
Yeah.
He might have his moments, but he might not be doing it in training to make Dyche think. There's something there that makes Dyche think that he's in these big games. He could just go astray and not get into the game. Now, you could say Mopé doesn't do nothing anyway, so what's the risk? So I can't really argue on that. I mean, you're the same, ain't you, Paul? You're big, like, don't play Mopé.
It's not even about his size. Do you know what I mean? I'm not much taller than him, I'd imagine. But I can bloody run further than him. And he's literally just wandering around. He just wanders around. And even when he looks as though he's trying to run, he's nowhere near the play. When we're actually going forward, he doesn't offer anything. He doesn't sort of go in the channels. He doesn't really hold the ball up. He doesn't sort of come deep and receive the ball, then run forward with it.
Look at this.
I know, yeah.
He's going to be a big centre forward, isn't he, Everton? I know you love him.
He would against Mopé.
I know you're his dad and you've got to defend him, but I don't think he's a centre forward. Maybe play him in midfield, but not a centre forward. I'd rather see, the Blues has just said, I'd rather see Sims, but not having he's a Premier League quality either. I think the same. I think we get carried away. Someone has a magical moment, which by the way, that magical Sims moment could keep us up. With what he got at that point could keep us up, and I love what he did. But Dyche is looking at other stuff, and I do believe that Sean Dyche, as soon as he brought Mopé on, he knows. He's thinking in his head, you've got to remember, these managers are clever. I think Dyche has brought Mopé on, and he said, right, I'm going to bring him on, give it 10 minutes, and I'm going to put Keane up top, and I'm going to play Mopé around him for a knockdown and let him be a poacher in a box.
Yeah.
That's what I believe Dyche has done. And I understand that. I do. And I know a lot of people don't, and they're fuming with Dyche, and they're losing their heads with him big time, but I'm not. Because I just think, like, Keane he's awful at the back with his feet stuck in the mud. But if you put him up top and you play a long ball to Keane, he can win the headers against their centre-backs. And that's all we needed to do because, like you've just said, Paul, we couldn't string 2-3 passes. This is, as a manager, you've got to think this, right? Dyche has tried to get our midfield to pass it to create a goal. Onana's not passing it. Garner's not putting the passes right in. He was one of our better players, but he's tackling, not passing. Gay wasn't. And Dyche is probably thinking, we're not going to get a goal from passing it through midfield. The only way Dyche can think that Everton are going to get a goal is by going direct. So he's probably thinking, right, if I'm going to go direct, I've got nothing up top. So I'll put Michael Keane up top and I'll put Mopé next to him. And that's what I feel has happened in his head.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, sort of going back early years of Premier League, so 90s, there always used, in the 80s, there used to be this thing of, well, if you have a tall player, then you have a short player. We had Sharp and Heath. Even Lineker was shorter than Sharpie. Over the road, they had tall and short fellas and stuff like that. And then in the 90s, you started having some teams who would play two big lads up front. I remember, I'm not saying we're Wimbledon, by the way, but Wimbledon, I remember, had their best season of finishing like 6th, having two big, strong lads up front, Gale and another one, can't remember who it was, but just scoring loads of goals, really just bullying the defence and creating chances. And if we're going to play that way, where we are hitting the area and we are hitting target men and working off people, then it's not a bad idea to actually give it a go when we're in a state of having to use people like that. Yeah, so it's about who we've got available now, isn't it?
Everything's just said what I said. It did lose everything in the middle as well. I've just remembered something, and I'll go back to stuff because I haven't no structure. People in the comments, get what you want about the game. We've got loads to talk about after. So don't go away. Don't go away. Stay on this channel tonight, right? Because we've got some big questions to ask you, ask Paul, and then I'll say what I think as well. But we're near the end of this game anyway. We're only going for it quick because there's more business to be done. And I was just going to say that centre-back, not centre-back, whoever he is, that Joa that was marking Tarkowski, the one that got his shirt ripped.
Yeah.
I want to knock him out. I really do. I want to knock him out. He's doing my head in, Paul. I was struggling with him because he's pushing Tarky and then falling on the floor. He's literally going like that and falling on the floor. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? And Tarkowski couldn't even stand in the box. Tarkowski's saying it got that bad that Tarkowski actually had to go from outside the box and run in. That's how much this guy was an idiot. And I was thinking to myself, he's doing my head in. He was really, really doing my head in. Like, as a player, he kind of ruined a whole set pieces all game because our main threat was Tarkowski. But you just felt the referee was going to blow. And I also don't know why this was happening. It's never happened before. Decore was standing on the keeper. You don't need to do that.
No.
I don't like someone standing on the keeper because it's an easy way for them to get a foul and get out. With that good on corners, I feel you've got to let the keeper make the mistake because he wasn't that good anyway. He showed that at the end. And I don't think Decore needs to be pushing the keeper because it just gives them the keeper a free kick and they get out and then they're out of trouble. I think that's stupid. What do you think of the comments?
I thought we were a little bit slow to deal with that, to be honest, because it was obvious after the 10th corner or whatever that Tarks was going to have 2 or 3 people stood on him. So what I hoped would happen we'd be a little bit clever about it because our corner technique is to get it to the far post. Tarkowski heads it back across, and then we fight for the chance in there. So why didn't Tarks go and move to another part of the area and let Mina have that job? Or let Keane have that job?
He did at one point, Paul. He followed him. He went front post and he followed him. That guy did.
But it also then takes those people who are marking Tarkowski away, doesn't it, as well? Because there were at least 2, sometimes 3 people literally just weighing him down.
They were really, really frustrating players. Like even the player that we said was quite good, the Portugal one, Nunes, is it in the middle?
Yeah, Neves.
He was frustrating as well. Neves was. He was really dirty. He could have picked up 2 yellows quite easy. They can do what they want, can't they? That's what there was.
Well, I actually think they helped us, to be honest, because I was looking at when they made their subs, because their subs actually they made a load. I think they were doing it really for sort of
bye-byes.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was,
standing ovations.
Absolutely,
we're trying to stay up, we're like, literally, this game is our destiny in the Premier League. We're all bricking it, and then they're having a freaking walk around the stadium. See you later. I'm going. End of the season. I'm going. Goodbye. And I was thinking, and this is what makes me laugh. They all come out at the end of the game saying, "I can't believe 9 minutes got added." Did a parade around the frigging whole of the pitch, Nunes, or freaking whatever your name is. It did my head in as well.
Well, they took off Podence, brought Diego Costa on. Well, that helped us because Diego Costa really just was
not fast for a counter.
Giving free kicks away, to be honest. Hang-Wei Chan went off for Lamina, who I think he brought on for getting his whatever Premier League appearance. And then they took Traore off, brought another Traore on, and Neves went off to his standing applause and everything else. And Kuna came on, and the other Traore went off, who set up the goal. So I just felt as though what they did there in about the 70th, 75th minute, and then the 88th minute, I think they just completely messed themselves up. I know they had the chance sort of 93rd minute, sort of on the breakaway. But apart from that, I think they lost sort of a little bit of structure. And that helped us massively. Because I don't think if they had made that many changes, if they hadn't made that many changes, the players who were already on the pitch knew their jobs. And I don't think Tarkowski would have got the chance at the far post. I think a couple of the people that they took off were people marking them as well, marking him and marking taller people in the area. So we got lucky in that respect, that they felt that waving bye-bye to one or two players was more important than keeping their clean sheet. And we got the benefit of it.
I agree. We're all Evertonians and we completely think the same thing. Was you, put it in the comments now as well. Am I right on this? Am I wrong? Often people tell me I'm wrong. Why? I'll ask you this question, Paul. Why was our players playing like this isn't do or die? Why did it take Jordan Pickford booting them up the arse to say, come on, if we don't get something here, we'll be relegated? Jordan Pickford was the only one to me that was pushing them up and looked like he knew what was at stake. Why wasn't they playing like they knew what was at stake? Why did they need a kick up the backside? Don't be that stupid. Because was you frustrated by that as well? That it took Jordan Pickford to get the team going towards the end? And I feel that Jordan Pickford and James Garner, by the way, because he's got stuck in at the end to get the ball back and get the ball up the pitch. I felt those two players was the big part of booting our team up the arse and getting us back in that game. And I don't understand why, like I say, Onana, Decore, and Garnagay, maybe even, I don't understand why they didn't have that urgency. Like they thought that we could lose this game and be okay. We needed to get something from this game.
Just no urgency, like you say.
Yeah.
It was particularly that middle part of the pitch. And Gray, when he came on, ran his legs off. Do you know what I mean? He won us a few free kicks and obviously had a shot as well. The keeper saved and was involved in trying to create one or two things. And he was just sort of getting on with it up the pitch. But you want the determination of Pickford in the middle of the pitch. You know, it's great if your goalkeeper has it because he can organise his defence, but you also want it in the middle of the pitch. You want someone in Garnagay's position to be exactly like Pickford and grab everyone by the bloody collar. You know, it's maybe one of the games where we've missed Coleman in that respect.
Yeah, I feel we massively missed McNeil on up top. I do feel like he the way he played left back, he would have smashed it if he was left wing. And it's just a shame that the way McNeil played against Brighton, that we're messing him around in different positions, because I think McNeil would have smashed Wolves if we played him left wing. I felt like he would be a person that would score if he got forward. And I also do feel that Iwobi had a few chances. He had a couple of shots on target. I don't know if you noticed that. He had a few shots on target, and I just not very powerful hitter is he on the ball, but
no, he's not. He's not.
Smash it, put your foot through it.
His final product is minimal, isn't it?
It's not a Rodriguez shot. I think he works hard now, which he never used to, which I like and I do. And he's got an assist in him in the right positions. But I just shooting. It's kind of like a Gomez shooting, if you know where I'm coming from as an Everton fan. You're just not confident it's going to. No,
you can just put your foot through it.
I like Gray's shots because, by the way, Gray's shot was close to going in, the one that got deflected, and he hit another one as well where the keeper could save it. And when Gray shoots, I do feel like it can hit the back of the net. And I think if some of those Iwobi chances went to Gray at his feet, he's got more chance of smashing them in with his shot technique. Do you agree?
I think we've just got to use our best attacking moves more often. So, McNeil getting a cross in on the left-hand side for people who are actually in the box. Gray and McNeil on that left-hand side. So the defenders don't know whether it's going to be a McNeil cross or Gray's then going to come inside and have a shot. And even if he has a shot, it doesn't always have to be one that's going to bend in the top corner. You'll know the same as me, is that and it's horrible as a defender, because if someone is shooting towards the far post and you've got players coming across or in the way, you only need a slight deflection as well. So there's things like that I think we don't use enough. We don't see him enough in the game.
Most shots, you see so many shots go in with a deflection, with a slight nick, but if you hit the ball side foot with no power, they often don't go in deflection. I feel like you've got to put power in shots to get a good deflected goal. And you're right in what you say there. And I just think sometimes just drive the ball. We see McNeil do it against Brighton. He just drove the ball across goal with power and it ended up in the back of the net. Got to put more power into your shots. But I was really happy with this draw in the end. Mina coming back at the end. I'm jumping around the house, I am. And I'm shouting King Gary Mina, because it's not good, but we do want to stay up. We do want to stay up. And that's been the challenge on this channel all the way through. We've stayed positive. And I'm not stupid. I know when things are scary. And that was a scary moment if we didn't get a draw there. And I'm jumping around the house. Was you happy with the draw at the end of the game? People in the comments, how do you feel? Was you happy with a draw? We're coming to the end on the game now, and then we've got loads of other stuff to talk about.
I think the two cats ended up on the ceiling, to be honest, when Mina put it in.
I know.
But nothing's changed. We would have, the draw or not, we still would have been looking to win the last game of the season, to be sure. We just would have, as it stands, we would have actually been ahead of Leeds on goal difference, but behind Leicester on goal difference. We would have been a point above both of them. So nothing has actually changed in that respect, is that we still need to win on Saturday, or Sunday rather.
Eugene's just said I was happy with a draw.
Yeah, well, we all are now.
I knew this was going to happen. I really didn't know this was going to happen. I was really worried about the West Ham Leeds game, but I thought, honestly, I rang you. Well, I messaged you worried, and I was worried on the channel before.
Yeah.
I thought David Moyes was going to put a weak team out, and I absolutely love David Moyes for doing that, because he's saved our arse, because he put a strong team out against Leeds. He did there.
I don't think it was very any.
He was right.
Reserves.
I've done that tonight.
Ings was playing up front instead of Antonio, and
Rice. He didn't have to play Rice. He didn't have to play Paqueta. I mean, Rice was fantastic that game. He was a big part of them coming back. But
exactly.
I thought Leeds could have won that game if they got the next. I mean, I've seen Sam Allardyce at half time. He looked like he'd got chips and gravy in his hand, and he was excited, got the bag, winning the bag already. Do you know what I mean? He did look happy. He was having jokes, picking money up. Yeah. He thought he'd done it already before he had him. West Ham, he had a smile on his face. It soon changed second half when West Ham stepped it up.
Though. Sam's always the same. He can't lose, can he? Either the team he's got go down, it's not his fault because it was so bad beforehand. Or he keeps them up and everyone thinks he's
he'll get snappy now, he will, because it's not gone his way. But I think that result's fantastic, because it just, I know we could have been in a situation where we draw, we stay up, and it still might be that situation. But I don't want to wait. Like, we might be going to this game, by the way. Me and Paul might, fingers crossed, be going to this game. I don't want to be that game thinking what's happening in other results going to affect us.
Yeah.
I know now when we go to that game at Goodison against Bournemouth, I now know that if we win, we're up.
Yeah.
Nobody can do nothing about it. It's in our hands. And to be honest, people in the comments tell me what you think. If we don't win, I don't think we deserve to stay up. And I don't want to go down, but I do think we will win, by the way. I really do. But if we don't win against Bournemouth at home, under these circumstances where you need to win to stay up, don't think we deserve to stay up. I really don't. I don't think
that.
you. No,
don't you do that? It's bad enough. No, I'll tell you now.
I think we'll 100% win. By the way, I think we'll 100% win. But I love a challenge, and I'm ready for the challenge, and I think we'll beat Bournemouth. This is getting crazy tonight. These late night streams are crazy.
All right, it's just the cat has just scratched me. Okay. What are you doing?
Cat didn't like me talking about Everton go down. No, I'm not saying we will go down. I'm just saying I like the challenge. I really do like the challenge.
Hell. Bloody finger.
You don't get live on the channel.
Cut me arm as well.
Oh, this is a cracky one tonight. You cannot beat the late night streams.
Honest to God.
I think your cat just read a frigging letter from Bill Kenwright and went nuts there.
Just that as well. Okay.
That's a good one, that is. That is a good one.
I was always like, no, we won't have cats. We won't have cats. We don't need them. It's fine. And then we end up getting one. I said you can't get one.
Do you know what? Jamie's going to get freaking all hot and heated now. You're getting scratches on the channel. Oh, you're getting scratches on the channel, right? We'll keep this football. We've got loads to go. We'll go for it, but it's just entertainment, and I'm sure you like it. I mean, Paul's cat's just attacked him live on the stream.
If I faint, that's why. That's
you might become Catman after that.
Catman.
Well, I'm not going to call you a woman, Catman.
But I've been called worse.
If Paul comes on the stream. Next one in the black leather suit, he's turned into Catman. Black leather suit.
Just don't ask me where I got the black leather
Bloody
suit.
Hell, Jamie won't be able to watch. Oh, that is funny.
Going back to the football. The thing is, and we said this before our game on Saturday, is that we said us, Leeds and Leicester, and Forest, are all inconsistent. You know what I mean? We're all capable of getting beaten by what we feel as though are easy wins, and winning games that we thought we'd never get anything from.
I think they're copying off us because I watched Nottingham Forest, and I think Nottingham Forest are copied off us because they just like big centre forward, direct, no fancy football, just get the ball up, long throws. Everyone's doing it at the bottom, by the way, and it's very effective. Long throw in the box, big centre forward against these fancy football teams like Arsenal. We did it as well. Tell me what you think in the comments. I think direct football is coming back in fashion. The old Stoke Rory Dillap throwing is very effective. I think it's get the ball up top and it goes in the back of the net. This fancy football now is changing again. Football's not becoming one thing just past like Man City. I think the old school football is coming back in, especially with these relegation battles.
I think the thing is that teams who are perceived as passing, being like an Arsenal kind of Bournemouth kind of team where they're passing a lot like Brighton and everything else, those teams have got to have a bit of steel, and sometimes they don't seem to. A little bit like Arsenal against Forest, if you like. So when you're playing more of a physical game, because that's what you've got ahead of really skillful players, that's what teams tend to use, particularly against sides who are a little bit more flamboyant and maybe don't like it up them.
Just it bypasses it, doesn't it? If you can't play the football that they can, because you need super class players to do it, and you can just bypass that sometimes. You can play one on ball, get the knockdown. You don't need to do all these fancy passes to get in the box. Right, people, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Me and Paul are now going to talk about contracts, extensions, and we're also the only quick this is going to be, by the way. It's not going to be super long. We're going to talk about probably Decore. We're going to talk about, after that, we're going to talk about owners. I'm going to talk about it by myself. We're going to talk about owners. And then we're going to finish off with something else that I forgot to talk about. But we're just going to cover these subjects because there's loads of things that have cracked off. And we're just going to try and put everything in tonight because I know you lot want to talk about them. I've already had messages and stuff. So, Paul, hit you now. People in the comments, right? We're going to hit subjects. We're going to be professional here on the channel. We've had a laugh. Yes. But you've got to have a laugh. Right. People in the comments tell me now, Decore, it's come out now that Decore's got the option to have a 1-year extension in his contract. People in the comments, Are you happy with this? Are you not happy? Would you do it? Yes. Tell me what you think about that subject. And Paul, you tell me what you think about that now.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense not to take him up, to be honest. You know, if you're not going to give it to him, then you got to get someone else in. Is that player going to be, are you rushing just because you need to fill that position? You know, he has had some good games for us. In fact, actually, there was a stage where when he was suspended, I think, suspended or injured, we actually realised that he'd been quite an integral part of the games where we have been getting decent draws or the odd win or two. So give him 1 year and go from there.
Yeah, I've got to just reading the comments here. I'm going to put your comments up now. I'll tell you what I think, and then I'll put your comments up now. I think at one point we was going to pay 40 million for Decore, by the way, when our owners was going crazy. 40 million was going to pay for him. And then we ended up signing him for 20 million. I think when you paid all that money, you might as well get as much as you can out of him. Don't think his wages are too crazy. I think Dyche is getting a tone out of him. Like you've just said, I don't think you can go out and buy a player without it costing you a bomb that's like Decore. I do think we need a baller. We need an Arteta or someone creative. I mean, I watched that Brazilian that Newcastle have got in the centre. He loves it. Yeah, Bruno. Bruno's just a football-minded man. We haven't got that in centre midfield. It's just he loves football. Put it into me. I love it. I'll handle the ball nice and I'll move it where I want to move it. That football love. Do you know where you just love it in centre midfield and you want to ping it about? We haven't got a footballer that does that, have we? I think James Garner's got it in him, by the way, and I think he will become a pinger.
Yeah,
but I do feel we need Decore isn't a pinger, like a good on the ball, move it about, like a Madison player, basically. Decore's not that. Onana's not. Yeah. So Onana's not that, and Garner Gay's not that. So we've got a lot of centre midfielders, but they ain't that baller that we need. If you agree with me or not.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had someone in that 10 position who is really skillful on the ball and score the odd goal since Sigurdsson.
No, Sigurdsson was a good. He wasn't too bad, to be fair. He was a good one as well. Yeah,
he had a couple of really good seasons.
Forgot about him. Rodriguez obviously was
he's not Voldemort, by the way. You can still say his name.
I know. Yeah, can't believe you just said that live on stream. Oh my God, let me cancel it quick before someone gets on to us. Red alert. No, you're allowed to say Sigurdsson, by the way. He didn't get accused of anything, but I'm sure people will probably say that that's because he's got a lot of money. We don't know the situation. I don't know. He probably did nothing. We know what some people are like, but we won't go into that one.
That kind of position and that, like you say, a baller, someone who can create out of very little is the kind of player that we don't have at the moment. And we're not going to get someone like that for 80 million or anything. We've got to be a bit shrewder in our scouting and be able to find someone who can do that job.
The Blues has just said that's fine as well. Just seeing you're putting the comments up. Luckily, I couldn't find where we was at, but the Blues. I'm trying to cover them all now. What they've just said.
Yeah, that's.
Go on, sorry. Put it on. You go for it.
Yeah. Well, we created the same amount of big chances as Saka this season. McNeil's actually created more, which is a wild stat. Yeah, I think Saka's. I think Arsenal move the ball a lot more than we do.
Stats are bull crap. Sorry, but they are. I know they are. I don't care what people say. I do think Iwobi's good, by the way, and I think he's a lot better. And I'm happy with him now, and I like him at Everton. Honestly, I've got nothing against him. But some stats that people bring out with Iwobi make him look like freaking Ronaldinho. Yeah, honestly, they really do. Some stats that people pull out. By the way, Everton, we do get the ball up a lot. And like you just said, Arsenal take the time on getting the ball up, and it's spread over every single player. But we direct the ball to Iwobi 24/7 because we haven't got many good players. So Iwobi's stats are flying. And then people talk like, oh, he's a Man City player. He's not that. I watch him every week. Iwobi is good. He is playing better. But he's not what the stats make him out to be. No. He really isn't.
You got to pick out the good ones. And the thing is, like, I think the best passers in the league are mainly centre-backs because they're all 100% because they pass it 5 yards. You know,
it's true.
It's that kind of thing.
I just think the stats. Sometimes I think you've got to. We all know the Blues likes football as well. Everyone, Jay, we all know football. You've got to watch football with your eye, and you can see what a player's like. I think stats are bullcrap sometimes. I do like goals. I think that's the biggest stat. But I just think sometimes the stats that they pull out of assists is crazy. Sometimes it makes a player to be what they're not. I really do. I mean, you can just. If you watch Maddison, what he does on the ball, and watch Iwobi, I think Maddison's twice what Iwobi is on the ball. I think he's a lot more dangerous than what Iwobi is on the ball. I really do.
Oh, yeah,
but then the way people talk about Iwobi, they're making out with the stats that he's as good as Maddison. But I would never say he is. But I do think Iwobi is playing a lot better, by the way. I do. I'm not putting him down, and I do like him. I do want to keep him. I think he stepped it up. But I just think sometimes some stats, we make players out to be more than what they are with the stats. I really do. Next player, well, I wasn't going to talk about him, but it was mentioned in the comments. We'll go through this really quick. We're going to hit little patches quick. Next player, Mina. Would you give him another contract if he was happy to? That's got you off the guard there, hasn't it? Because I just seen someone mention it. Give him another contract.
Yeah.
People in the comments, Mina, would you give him another contract?
I think it all depends on who you want your 4 to be next season, and who you can have as well, to be fair. I mean, a lot of people would say that we'd have Branthwaite, but Branthwaite might not want to stay. I don't know what his situation is. Same with 1 or 2 others. They might not want to stay either. So, I mean, there's the Cody situation as well. Jamie's made a fair point there for Mina. You know, he's very injury prone. If he was not getting injured all the time, of course he would be in the side, you know. And he does offer something that the other players don't. You know,
I think obviously you're putting what you think in the comments. Put what you think about me. Now, I think his wage is absolutely ridiculous, 120 million, probably even more than that. And I think if you've got control of his wage, if he wants to come to us and stay, then we offer him something good. But on our behalf, do you know what I mean? Like a pay-as-you-play, like he's saying. I think that'd be cracking.
And that wouldn't surprise me if we were able to do that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the way that he comes across, he's been with us for a few years now as well, and we've done good by him, I would say. So I'd like to think that if he was to stay, then it would be on beneficial terms for both us and him.
It's a shame that his contract is up now, because I do feel that you might have been able to snip a bit of money for him with the way he's played for us to keep us up. And he's played, 2 games now without getting injured. It would have been a cracking time to have sold him. This would have been the best time, because every other time you would have tried to sell him, he's got injured just before it and no one would have been interested. But I think someone would have you probably would have got 5 or 10 million for him, which would have been good business to get something back for what we paid all that time ago. He is injury prone. He's scary, Mina, so we won't go on that too long, because you have him back, he might not play much, and we can't afford for that to happen again. We all moaned about him a lot not playing, but by the way, he's been cracking to keep us up. It reminds me of a Delph. You know, Delph, doing nothing for ages, and then Delph coming to keep us up last season. It feels like that's what Mina's doing this season.
He's like 2 Delphs on top of one another.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is, isn't it?
A big Delph, but not irritating. I could actually freaking give Mina a kiss on his head, but Delph, I could give him a slap around the head. That's the difference. But that's the subject to them. Any comments on that, Paul? Do you want to drop them on?
Yeah,
I mean, on you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You're just more wizard on me on the comments.
Like to see someone
I know, yeah,
as well if I haven't seen you. Keenan Holgate rather than Mina. I'm not a Holgate fan, to be honest. I'm sorry. I just feel he's a bit of a liability. I think he could do well with another club. You know?
I honestly think Holgate could do really well at like Division 2 or something like that. No, he's not good. I'm sorry, but he's not good. And I want him to come on and keep us up, but he's nowhere near good enough. As a defender, you've got to be able to head the ball, and Holgate ain't that good at that. As a defender, you've got to be able to tackle. I don't think he's good at that. And he hasn't got a football brain to read the game. And I just feel like you've got to bring Branthwaite back and you've got to move Holgate on. I do feel like that. So, I mean, I'm worried about Godfrey as well. We've got that many problems with these defenders, I feel like. That I do feel that we need to shift a few and bring a few in. So, I don't know on that one.
Yeah. I think all of our defenders have had both very good periods in their careers with us.
Read my mind, look.
And some absolute stinkers. Do you know what I mean? Sorry.
I just say read my mind. I just said that, didn't I?
Absolute stinkers as well. So it's about who you think will be best for us moving forward.
So that's a couple.
We'll end
I don't know.
We'll end up having a choice of 7 centre backs.
It's a good option. I feel like I do feel that we'll get rid of what's shit and keep what's good. I really do. I mean, Dyche. I've had some arguments with people that they say Dyche has been stubborn, but he has ended up dropping Michael Keane when we didn't think he would.
Yeah.
I mean,
remember we've got to have 11 players on the pitch, Dan. Do you know what I mean? We've got to keep some.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, get rid of them all in that. No, but you know what I mean, though. I didn't think that Mina would come in for Keane, and Dyche has done it. I thought Dyche would keep playing Holgate there and frustrate us, but he had a bad game and he brought him off. I do feel Dyche, if someone is not good enough, Dyche will bring him off. But the problem is Everton haven't got the big enough squad for Dyche to keep bringing off who's letting him down. That's the big problem. But there is plenty of players there. I mean, I never normally talk about players at this point when we've got one game left to stay up and we don't know where we're going to be. But we are an Everton channel, and I'll put that in for you because I know a lot of you would have wanted to have talked about that. Now we're going to hit another subject because we are an Everton channel. Hopefully, I'm not keeping Paul up too late or you late in the comments here. But another subject now, people, we'll go on to it. I know you're probably desperate to talk about it. The subject is, where is Delph? Don't know. Don't care. I don't think he cares about us either, to be fair, with the way he looks on that coach.
I've heard that's the title for our new Netflix series.
Who are you? But Game Power. What's that one?
When we said, are you new? Kids. Bloody kids. So he nicked his YouTube and changed the name. So I'm just checking who Game Power is.
Sounds like a powerful name, doesn't it? Game Power. Don't care as long as you come on and you're nice, mate. I don't mind. Absolutely. But you make sure you're old enough. Make sure your parents know that you're on the channel because we are parents and we're sensible. All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're not, but I guess say we're sensible. And then he looks at my video on the channel and me smothered in blue paint, right? And riding a unicorn, right? So stadium, the Blues. I know you're there still. Everton, I know you're there. Jamie, I know you're still there. All the regulars, I hope you're still on. If you're not, I understand why you've gone because it's late. But what's your thoughts on this? Because you probably know more than me because you're cleverer than me.
Well, give it time. Go on.
Well,
on the stadium in general.
Well, the news has come out that we're probably. Well, you put me on the spot. I'll try and say what I think, and I'm crap at talking about this owner stuff. But if I'll put it in a clumsy person's perspective, right?
Okay.
777. 777 want to buy the club completely. I don't feel Moshiri wants to let someone completely have the club because I still feel that Moshiri wants a bit of this. He wants a percentage in it or something because he sees the stadium and he sees that Everton are probably going to get better. And he's actually got Everton to a point now where he can have another go, if you know what I mean, because I feel that he's messed up massively. It's took years to clear out all these players that Moshiri's messed up with. It's took years to finally get a manager that looks like he can build something.
Yeah.
And I feel like Everton are finally in a position where we can rebuild if some money comes in, where we can bring in the right players and have the second chance in the new stadium. So I don't feel Moshiri wants to go. 7-7 want to come in and have complete ownership because they see this new opportunity that I've just talked about. Yeah. And I feel that there's another one that's been in the mix from ages, as I've talked about January or whatever, and that's MVP. I always say MVP because it's a wrestler, isn't it? I remember it. MVP. MVP is not MSP. I'm close. I'm doing well here. I'm doing well. MSP are another one that's been in the mix. So Moshiri's kept it open, so he's got his options. They've come in, but I think they're happy to come in with a percentage, chuck in the money that's needed for chuck in a chunk for players next season. Yeah. I think they'll clear a bit of debt. I think they'll help with the stadium, but I do think they want 2 or 3 people on the board. It scares me with them because I do feel that people might stay on the board that we don't want to. So they're the 2 options that could happen, and I don't know which one's going to happen. And I feel like that's where we're at in my brain. Am I right there or wrong?
No, that's as far as I can see it as well. It's investment from MSP. No details specifically about who would still be there or not. But But the thing is, I've said this before as well, is that there's lots of stuff behind the scenes, behind the deals, behind the handshakes and whatever that we don't know and may never really know about, to be honest. So there's not too much that we can,
Did you read that
say.
Oh my days! Look at this. This is why I love the channel, by the way. This is why I love my Evertonians, and Evertonians are the best. They're the best fans, right? So we've got, while we're talking about Everton, serious stuff, the ownerships of the club. This is what Everton fans are like. We're talking about serious stuff. Who's going to own our club? And all of a sudden, Everton says I'm banned off TikTok because my daughter's hijacked and got me banned. And then obviously Jamie pops in with his comment, "Don't lie, you were."
Jamie all over that.
This is why it's the best channel. You can't miss out on it, because even though it's stressful being an Evertonian, we've still put a smile on our faces and keep going. And
that's what you got to do. It's what you got to do.
Well, we've been the best channel, haven't we? We've been not the best channel, because, by the way, I always say this: I'm in no competition with every channel, because I think every channel is needed, because they help the fans, and that's what I hope to do. They help the fans get through these sort of moments. That's what a channel's about: to support the fans, help the fans, and give them a platform to socialise on. That's what I think it's all about. And me and you, we've carried some of these in the comments through this being positive. We have, and I do. I want nothing more than for Everton to stay up and just say we've done it together. But I was thinking this, Paul. I know I've been looking at it on YouTube channels today. If we go down, we're getting so much shit. Everyone hates us, and I don't even, not everyone, but a lot of fans have got it in for us, and I don't know why, but they have. I've been seeing like Everton need to go down. Even freaking that white geezer on Talk Sports, like Everton should get the deducted points already. He said, he goes, they should get, and then Simon said on it, he goes, no, things have to go to court. Things have to go to the process. It's not going to get done until next season. And then he goes, that's stupid. They should rush it. And I'm thinking, why have so many people got it in for Everton? And I want nothing more than to stay up, because a lot of people want us to go down. And that makes me I want to stay up anyway, but I can't wait to say to you, yes, you wanted us down and you haven't. Because we'll get so much crap if we go down, but they'll say nothing if we stay up, if you know where I'm coming from.
Well, there's reasons for it, and the fact that we've got away with it a few times, and we're a side that have not had to, who have not gone down for however many years it is, since 53, I think. So that's why they always want to catch a big fish, don't they? And the things on talk crap and all that sort of stuff on the radio it's all just sensationalizing everything, and it's just devil's advocate and one good cop, one bad cop, and it's all nonsense till things actually happen. It really is. And what we tried to do on here is that we've been, and we felt, we're not making it up, we genuinely positive going forward, and we find the positives in sometimes some of the toughest games and situations. You know what I mean? The Fulham game where it loses 3-1, the Newcastle on a Thursday night, that was hard then to come on the Friday and sort of go through that game. But you keep positive, and then things can turn for you. The Brighton win, for example. Massive.
I feel like because it's happened last season, this season, some Everton fans have lost their heads. I love all Everton fans, by the way, but I'm just saying what I see. And I think some have completely lost their heads because, like, they're acting like we've never been in a situation where we can't win a game. Like, we should beat every team. It's got no given right, I always say, to beat every team. I remember wanting Everton to win back in the day against freaking Rooney and Ronaldo against Man United and stuff, and we used to get battered. And I still wanted Everton to win. I still had the hunger for Everton to win. I'll never lose as a fan the hunger to want Everton to win. And I just think you've got to stick into it, like stay with it, because you just never know. We are the supporters. So even if freaking they don't realise they can win, we're the supporters and we get behind them to win, because we know what the club means, and we'll always put out what the club means as supporters to get them over the line. And I just feel like I've not come on this channel just to be positive for no reason. I generally have believed all the way through. I love a challenge. I don't like being in the relegation battle. My challenge that I want is to get Europa League. That's the challenge that I want. I want to be pushing up the table. I want a challenge to rebuild this Everton team and give probably our kids, not us, our kids some good Everton times, because this isn't good. I'll take the crap times and give my daughter some good times. We need to just get Everton in the right direction, and we've always got to push them in the right direction, because the game doesn't stop. The game keeps going, doesn't it? And I just feel that's what we've got to do. We've just got to keep pushing forward, stay up, stay in the game, because you never know what can happen. We're coming to an end now, but you never know what can happen. You would never have thought when Mike Ashley was selling that club that Newcastle would get Champions League today. You would never have believed it. You just wouldn't. I mean, we could have had Newcastle's owners. Absolutely crazy that freaking Ken Wright was around that. Crazy. But I believe he might have stopped that. I don't know. We don't know the ins and the outs, but I know we could have had Newcastle's owners that was interested. Yeah. But with new owners, you don't know what's going to happen. You look at West Ham, the Europa League final. I think West Ham have been awful this season. I think West Ham fans will say the same. They've been awful this season, but they might still win a final. Leicester, freaking, they could go down. We might send Leicester down. Bloody won the league and won the FA Cup not long ago. Don't know what's going to happen in football. You might just randomly win a trophy, so you've got to stick in it for the good times. And I just think stay up Everton and see what happens, because don't always think negative, because you'll get some of our fans that will say, oh, it'll be the same thing again, same thing again. Same thing doesn't happen all the time, does it? It can change.
It can change. And I can understand certainly people around my age, and the fact that, you know, they might have seen us be really good when we were kids, but then ever since, not really. From a few flashes of you know, semi-finals, or you know, the final 2009, or you know, I'm not even saying the FA Cup win, but we've constantly been disappointed. We've almost got there, then been disappointed again, and it's over and over and over again. So the guys who sort of go on spaces and things like that, and they're saying we're down. I understand where that comes from, but like you said in the past, don't drag yourself down into that pit, and then everything is negative all the time. Oh, we've drawn, we're down. You know, oh, we could have won, we're down. Because we're obviously not, and we're actually in the situation now where it's in our own hands. We win, we stay up. That's really simple. Really simple.
Well, I'd rather I'm not in competition with no one, but I'd rather be the one that some call me stupid on spaces for believing. I'd rather be the stupid one that believes to the very end and we stay up, than us stay up and be that person that said we're down all season. You imagine being that person that said we're down all season. No, we're down, and us staying up. And you just said we're down all season. Like, it's just, you haven't really done your job as a fan. I understand. By the way, I'm not deluded. I know that there was a big possibility that we could go down this season. I know. I'm not deluded. We could say that 24/7, but we choose to believe to stay up. And I just want it to happen. I really do believe that we're going to stay up. That Bournemouth game, we can win it. We can win it. I've just seen some comments about the Bournemouth game, and we'll finish now. We'll talk about the Bournemouth game. Like, obviously, we'll do a pre-match as well. But I do fancy us ball in that Bournemouth game. I really do. I think I said earlier on, I think Dyche suits against them. And
I think they'll be working. They'll obviously be working hard all week. They'll try and get people fit. They'll have contingency plan for people who aren't fit, and they'll work on Bournemouth. You know, they'll watch all of Bournemouth's recent games, see how they've been setting up, know that they've not particularly got superstars, but they're a well-formed side, and they can create chances and score goals. And what we've got to do is make sure that we keep that clean sheet, and we actually put ourselves onto them and affect the game positively and get the result that we need. And we can do it. We can do it. We can. I mean, I see the Blue said he's worried about Bournemouth, but now he's just gone positive and he's just said, yeah, we have to be absolutely horrible as Sunday and we really give it to Bournemouth. Yeah, it's all ground. It's all ground. They're coming to. This is a massive advantage being at home as well, because Bournemouth they've got nothing to play for. They're still going to want to win, because we've seen teams got nothing to play for still be good. Look at West Ham. But they're still going to want to win. But we've got it at Goodison.
So we've got the crowd advantage. It is an advantage. Our atmosphere is amazing. We've got to make it amazing, by the way. Can't be scared. You just got to say to yourself in that stadium, sing all the way through and you've done your job. Try not even panic at all. Just sing all the way through. And whatever happens, happens. That's the attitude you've got to say. Because sometimes if it's hostile, it can go onto the players and it can affect them. So I just think we've got to get behind them. But I really do think that Bournemouth team are good, but we are better now. And we can beat this Bournemouth team to stay up with what's at stake. I really do.
And the thing is as well, this is going to be the first of these. I'm not talking about Palace last season. I mean, if it hadn't gone well against Palace, we still would have been up for the Arsenal game, whatever it was, last day of the season. This is like the only one now that matters. And it's going to be the first time for a lot of people, who weren't there in the 90s. But our records then were shocking. I think it was 2 wins in 15 for the Wimbledon game, 1 win in 13 for the Coventry game, going into those games. And one time we were actually already in the bottom 3 before we kicked off. Actually, it might have been both. But the thing is, it was really bad then, and we survived. And that's what we can do as well on the Bournemouth game. And it'll be horrible. This week you won't stop thinking about it. You think, right, what am I going to wear Sunday? Give myself as much good luck as possible. Dan might be there.
That's going on the channel as well, by the way.
Dan might be there in bright blue. Dan might be there at Goodison Park in bright blue.
Well, I don't think I'm going to get painted blue. I'll probably get knocked out. Well, no, I'll get about 25. Taking a unicorn to the stadium. I hope I'm going to get the ticket. There's a chance I might be at the game. Me and Paul might go together with the daughters. And it'll be my daughter's first game, and Paul's daughter's already been. And there's a chance that we might be able to go. We're just waiting for confirmation, but we'll record the whole thing if we go for the channel. And, if we go, oh my days, you know what I'm going to be like? I'll be tempted to run on the pitch. If we stay up. Not in celebrate. I'll be tempted to run on the pitch halfway, not after the game. Half time. You'll see me riding across with the unicorn if they start playing well. I'll do anything to keep us up. But I really, there's loads on, by the way. I don't know why, but there's loads brilliant. On.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. The numbers are amazing. I mean, you'll probably go off now, I said that, and get shy and think, I'm not letting this channel do well. But there's loads on. Can you do me a favor? Hit that like button, because it just means we can spread around. Channel's doing really well. It's growing fast, but you can make it grow faster for us just by hitting a like button. Costs nothing. So hit that like button and if you like it, subscribe, because we've got one more game left. I heard Jamie said to me, what are you doing later on? We're going to do a lot of Everton stuff, cover transfers every so often, because we all need a rest from Everton, by the way. We'll cover Everton bits and bobs, but we'll do fun things like tonight, go on and just freaking have a laugh. Have a laugh. Whatever ideas you lot have got.
All sorts. We'll still be around, won't we? We'll still be around.
We'll still be here for you. We'll come on sometimes, have a laugh.
We won't be around too much to annoy all of you, because like you say, Dan said,
we might even just come on one night and talk about food. Like, just come on one night, because that's good. I mean, what do you prefer, kebab or Chinese? What do you prefer, kebab or Chinese?
Oh, Chinese.
I'm Chinese all the way. We'll see people in the comments. Are you kebab or Chinese? Like, that's an interesting thing. My missus is kebab and I'm Chinese, so we always have the argument. So sometimes she's happy and then sometimes I am 50-50.
I actually don't think I've ever had doner meat.
Have you not?
No. You
see, you're definitely Chinese.
You see it there in the takeaway, just spinning around, and can't
Chinese is expensive nowadays, but it's very nice. What do you order from Chinese?
I'm a bit chicken and pineapple fried rice.
Ooh, bit of pineapple in you.
I know. Yeah. One of them that likes the Hawaiian as well. I think I've just cut the number. This is why Paul
looks. It's still on. This is why Paul looks 21. He's got pineapples in his curries. Absolutely. that's the good for your skin. Pineapples. You'll have Jamie frigging ordering 20 frigging boxes of pineapples, tins of pineapples.
Jamie, pineapples all the way.
Yeah, so we'll just do fancy stuff like that. Fancy stuff. We'll do stuff like that. We'll have a laugh on this channel. That's what it's here for, just to keep us Everton fans together. That's what it is here for. It's an Everton fan get together.
Scratched by the cat.
I like that stuff like that on the screen. I like, because it's just, You can't get it. It's like you've been framed live, isn't it? But
It was, no. Sorry.
Attacked by the cat. Yeah, so we've got this big game. We will do a pre-match before. We'll let you know when we're going to do the pre-match. This channel, by the way, we've got one game left now. I wasn't sure when I set it up. Did it by myself. Paul come on once, got the hook. He's twice as good as me. We both do it together now. It's our channel. And you in the comments, it wouldn't be what it is without you as well. You've all been smashing in the comments. We've got one game left, but it's been fantastic. And I think it's going to get better with every season and get more Evertonians on it to have a laugh. That's about all of us, not just about anyone on the channel. But yeah, it's fantastic. And I love it. And Paul likes coming on and you love it in the comments. Let's all just stick on this channel. It's amazing. And there's 14 on now. At what time? 3 minutes past 11.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, lovely. Hit that like and subscribe button and we'll just do everything that you want. You give us ideas, we'll do it. We just want to put on this channel what you want to see. Well, probably not what Jamie wants to see, but... Get your nipples out.
That's another channel.
we'll have to do an over 18s channel for Jamie as well. You know what I mean? Oh, I love it. Jamie's probably laughing his head off tonight, and he got us on the big screen on TV having a laugh.
Good lad.
Already on the way, switching my phone, everything off on Sunday.
Try not to think about it too much.
Do you know what? Everything Everton has
to be different,
doesn't it?
A bit of a tough one, but try not to think about it too much. Nothing's going to happen now until the actual day. And any sort of newspaper and board reports and all this nonsense, just let it all slide. Don't get wound up by anything.
We can only stay up, by the way, because I couldn't accept us going down. It'll break me. So we can only stay up. Yeah. It's the only option. We're going to stay up. God wouldn't do that to me. He wouldn't put me live on this channel upset about it. He wouldn't do it to you. Like, oh, no, we'll all be. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. Don't even think about it. We're going to stay up. That's the only thing that's going to happen. You don't need to be upset on any of this build-up to the game, by the way, because you should only be upset if we go down. So don't let yourself be stressed on any of this build-up. And by the way, if you do that, it'll put you in a positive mindset, and us fans will be positive, and we'll get behind that team, and we'll keep them up. And I tell you something, if you believe it, it happens. And everything's gone to plan so far for me, Paul. I think I wanted a game to stay up like we did Crystal Palace. It's the last game, but who cares? And we've got it, and we're going to do it, and we're going to stay up again. We are going to do it. Call me Joe for Sigurdsson. Everything Everton's Indian.
Yeah.
Do you like Indian or not?
That's more the misses, but I'll go for a doppiazza.
I went to an Indian wedding. I did, didn't I? I've got a lot of friends that are Indian, and I know the professional singer there, and I picked up his song. Defona apple on delay, bella dedicardige, Gemma wali lavito la gatta che ti cavi no montatoli shipendegella dedicardige. Oh, yeah, there's a singer called Gary Sandu. He's massive, and I was on stage dancing. You know what I'm like? I'm the unicorn man, so I was on stage dancing to this song, and I'm quite famous. Yeah, I am quite famous, but I keep it to myself.
Wow,
there you go.
The blue in Bollywood, that'd be amazing.
Oh, you see my dad moves. Unfortunately, I probably ain't got the moves to go with it, but yeah, love it. Everyone, there's 14 on. We keep staying on because there's loads on, and I've kept going and probably kept Paul up, and he's going to get told off now.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. But yes, it is. It's going to be time to go.
Yep. Thank you everyone for coming on. It's been class. Like and subscribe. Get this channel going because we're loving it, and we will see you before the game. And hopefully we get to go to it. But if we don't get to go to it, then we'll see you still. Anyway, don't worry about it.
We will.
I'm going to put the brand up now. I'm still going to put the old brand up. Because me and Paul have got...